Alrighty, everyone. So welcome. Like I mentioned before, La Suprema is a new co-working and event space in Barrio Viejo. We're really excited to announce that we opened last week. We're founded on a give first and a greater good philosophy. And we're super excited to be offering a variety of memberships. Right now, anything from virtual memberships to flex and resident desks up to private suites and day passes. And we have anything from day passes to month to month to 6 months to 12 months for private offices right now. We're being as flexible as possible. And they're here to, we're ranging to accommodate growing teams. And we want La Suprema to be your place to grow. We're also going to be home to in-house workshops just like this, mentors, entrepreneurs. If there's any events that you'd like to host when it's safe to do so, we have conference room space and really beautiful event space. And because we're a commercial mail receiving agency, that's deemed an essential business, and we're really excited and proud to be open to other essential businesses during this time. Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to give you a little more information about what's going on today. So again, this is our first La Suprema lunch. These are going to be hosted virtually for now. We have a really awesome lineup for May that is really focused on digitizing your business and getting online presences up and running. And if you would like to join our newsletter to find out about the other events coming up this month, you can do so at our website. It's lasupremaworks.com. So you can join our newsletter and be up to date there. And then a little more about today. We have a presentation on Facebook Marketing 101 by Shawn Campbell. And we're super excited to have him being presenting. He'll present for about 40 minutes, and then we'll leave time at the end for questions. So if you have questions, post them in the chat. You can send them over throughout, and I'll be taking note of those and asking those questions at the end. And we love and encourage the feedback and questions. So without further ado, I am going to hand this over to Shawn Campbell.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. And, first things first, I really want to, thank Katina, Gina, and Alex especially for, allowing me to do this. If you haven't seen the space yet on Simpson, just south of TCC, please come by. I mean, I was at Connect for about a year downtown and just love it here. And again, Alex is always available to assist if we need any assistance, and Gina and Katina, just phenomenal resources. They always give me the time of day and ask, answer any of the questions I have. And it's always business related. So phenomenal place. Get a chance to come by here. So we are going to be talking about Facebook Marketing 101, just the basics and the fundamentals. I always want to state this ahead of time. This is not a sales pitch. So if I come across kind of salesy or whatever, that's not my intention at all. It's 100% informative. It's 100% to kind of give you that little nudge and that information and some tips and some advice and some direction to get yourself going on this. Okay. I'm going to share some numbers with you, and I knew that the numbers were pretty substantial because I see it in all the metrics. I manage about 50-ish clients right now, so I got a good insight of what's going on Facebook. But even the numbers that I researched yesterday for this presentation absolutely astonished me. Okay, and again, and as Alex stated, please have some questions. There is no such thing as a bad question. I promise you. If you have a question in mind, I promise you somebody else in this webinar has the same question or something that they haven't thought of yet. So please ask questions afterwards, okay? A few of you have been to my presentations before and always need to go over some of the basic fundamentals of marketing and what we're really trying to accomplish first before we get into the real meat of the presentation. 3 guiding principles when you are growing or when you are working on your own social media program. You have to have a mindset that you're going to methodically grow your audience. Okay, just because you may only have 50 people that like your page, or 100 or 150, 200 even, don't compare yourself to, the bigger pages out there. That's not fair to you. It's not a reflection on your audience. Okay. It doesn't really matter how many likes you have on your page. It's how many people that you're going to reach and how many impressions you're going to make. We're going to be primarily going over the organic or the day-to-day Facebook, posts and ideas and some other things that you can do on a day-to-day basis. But keep in mind as we go through this, the other part of this is really the ads part of it, Facebook ads. Okay. So it doesn't really matter how many people you have like your page or following you, once you get into the ads, but we're not going to get into too much today because I want to give you the fundamentals of the day-to-day stuff. Ads is where you can reach a lot of people that aren't within your scope or aren't liking you. Okay. So keep that in mind. This is kind of the day-to-day stuff to position yourself as a leader in the industry and leader in your community, but it's complemented with the work that you can do on your ads. Okay. Strategically nourish and or entertain your audience with your day-to-day posts. Again, position yourself as a leader in your industry and in your community. And if it's applicable, and if it's if it's in your market, if it's part of your business, yeah, it's okay to entertain them, make your audience laugh every once in a while. But more times than not, say you're a financial advisor, you're probably not going to want to post anything that's off the cuff, too funny all the time. But it is a chance to provide some entertainment, especially when you see stuff kind of the mundane, as it's related to today's times. And then after you've methodically grown your audience and you strategically nourish by providing value and information, gracefully ask for the sale. And that's primarily in your ads, but you have to accomplish the first two first. You have to provide value and information before you ask for the sale. There's too many businesses out there that are always too salesy. They're always asking for the business, but they're not providing their audience any opportunity, any value and information. Okay. Again, some marketing 101, some of the basics before we really get into this. When I talk about reach in this presentation, that's how many people that you reach with your posts, how many people see it, okay? Whether it's on your social, your post, or your ads. The impressions is how many times those people that you reach saw your post or your ad, okay? So if you see your metrics and you see that you made 500 impressions, but you reached 250 people, then on average, every person who you reach saw your post or your ad or whatever twice, okay? You got to keep that in mind because 20 years ago, it took about 20 years ago, it took about 7 impressions before somebody recognized what you did and what your brand was. So whether, say back in the mid 90s or whenever it was, you were doing billboards, radio, TV, it took about 7 times before somebody realized, oh, it's Shawn, it's Campbell Marketing, I understand what he does. Today, because of all the noise and because our attention spans, that's why I put the goldfish there. Our attention spans are about as long as the average attention span is about that of a goldfish. I forget how many seconds it was, but I think it's like 3 or 4 seconds. So it takes that many impressions. Today it takes about 20 impressions before somebody understands your business and what you do and what your brand is. And whether that impression is made while you're networking or online or however else you're promoting your business, think of it, you got to make 20 impressions per everybody you reach before they finally understand what you do, okay? And apply the 80-20 rule to what you're doing for your social media. Too many people are always looking for that new client. They're always looking for that new customer with their social media, okay? What about your current audience? With any business, whoever's on this call right now, whoever's on this webinar, every business, 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your core clients. Is any of your social media presence, if any of your posts directed toward your audience? More times than not, we all make the mistake. We're always trying to find that new client or customer, and you're neglecting that current customer you have. Your social media is your opportunity for you to engage with your audience, not the other way around. It's not an opportunity for your audience to engage with you. None of us are that important, not yet, right? So it's your opportunity for you to engage with your audience, that 20% of the people that are bringing in 80% of your revenue. It's a big, big thing to keep in mind. Okay, here's some of the stats that I looked up yesterday. And again, just from seeing all the metrics of all of my own clients, and I see the reach and the engagement and the impressions are all up. More time than ever before, today as we're going through this pandemic, everybody's at home, everybody's unsupervised, and everybody's on their phone, right? The WW right there, that's worldwide. Our time on our mobile devices is up about 20%. Okay. And keep in mind that this is year over year for the first quarter. So this time in the first quarter from 2019 to the first quarter of 2020, we're on our mobile devices and on our apps up 20%. And you're going to say, well, the pandemic really didn't hit here until this current month. Again, that's worldwide. So that includes most of that increase comes from our European countries. Okay. And a record 23.4 billion with a B was spent in that first quarter online. That's an amazing amount, an incredible amount. Okay. And in the US, how many of you have heard that Facebook's not relevant anymore? It's not applicable. I get that all the time. It's like, should I be on Facebook? No one's on Facebook anymore. Well, over the last month, there's been an increase in the US alone of another 5.7 million users just on Facebook alone. So, yes, it's still relevant. Yes, your business needs to have a presence on Facebook. And yes, you should be posting every day. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if this applies to anybody with your business that's on the webinar today, but again, I think the audience wants the ease of a delivery, the ease of pre-ordering your product or service, the ease of being able to sign up for a webinar, okay, online on Facebook specifically. I completely 100% understand that we all need to be very, very much more strategic with our dollars now more than 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But if you have had, and I don't want to like come down on anybody that was not or didn't have a good presence on Facebook, it didn't build a following on Facebook. But I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday. The first time we met over the phone, this business had not posted anything for the last 2-3 years on Facebook. And right now they want to catch up. So think about that. Think especially the local restaurants who every day would engage with their audience on Facebook and Instagram, other platforms, who built up those thousands of following. How easy was it for them to pivot and announce that pivot to their audience and say, you know what, this is how easy it is for you to come by and pick up your orders or the takeouts or whatever. And how much of us are supporting local and are engaging in those posts and are commenting and sharing those posts right now. Some of those posts with some of those restaurants who have had, previously 20, 30 likes on a post because over the years they built up a couple thousand following are now getting 200, 250 likes and people are sharing it. That one post alone is being seen by thousands of people because those businesses were already engaged and built up their audience before all this, okay? If we all had that audience before all this, that ease into our transition, the way we're pivoting is not nearly costing us anything for our dollars. We don't need to put that out as ads right now because we already built up that audience. And again, there's such a local, an incredible amount of local support out there that there's so many other people in that audience that are sharing their posts right now. They're getting thousands and thousands of people seeing what they're doing every single day because there's so much support and so many people are sharing those posts. So yes, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you haven't had a presence before this, you are behind the 8 ball. I'm not going to sit here and kind of everything's going to be great. You have a lot of work cut out for you. You have a lot of work cut out for you, okay? I don't know if anybody is, selling a high-end service or item right now, but there is no more aspirational type of marketing. Aspirational type of marketing. When I think of that, it's product or services that you aspire to have one day. Like recently there was a Mercedes commercial where the couple was talking to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller's, yeah, one day you guys will get married, and one day you guys are going to drive a Mercedes. And sure enough, you see them in the future. That's kind of aspirational type of marketing. Right now, our audience and the markets don't want to hear or see that. Okay, you need to connect with them a lot more. Okay, that leads into the next one, a lot more PR and community related stuff. A lot of my clients, I mean, we're not even running ads right now to um, uh, highlight their product or service. We're running ads about community related to support your local business, to support your local community. It's a lot more public relations community type of content out there. I'll get into this pretty soon, but if you see other type of content out there that supports other local business, you can piggyback off of that and grow your audience from that. Okay. Right now, follow up is more crucial than ever. Okay. Your phones, all of us, our phones are probably no more than arms away as it is right now. But you need to have your notifications on, and you need to be very, very responsive to anybody who's asking you questions about your service or product, and be responsive as quickly as possible. And honestly, there's so many people that are up overnight right now on Facebook. And when I wake up, I get notifications from all my clients' pages. And there's so many people that are up 2 or 3 in the morning asking questions about their products or service, or asking more details about that. I'm not saying that we all need to be up 24 hours a day, but as soon as you wake up, if you're not checking your phone and seeing if somebody's, asking you a question about your product or service, more likely than not, that person's probably asked 2 or 3 other businesses for the same information. Okay. And this gets, the last point there is, have you told your why yet? Okay. More people than not are going to invest in your product or service if you've told your why. Why do you do what you do? Okay. Even today, people want to know why you do what you do. Okay. I put together a really big proposal, just, a few hours ago. And the centerpiece of this proposal is getting my client to tell his why story. This dude's been in business for 10, 12 years right now, and he's never told his why to his audience. He told me yesterday, and it's unbelievable. I almost wanted to buy, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I would have spent like $2,000 on this product. You got to tell your why. Make a video, be authentic. Just put the camera in front of you, tell your why, and tell your audience why you do what you do. Okay. This reinforces it. Simon Sinek, if you've ever read any of this stuff, super, super powerful stuff. People are going to buy why you do, or don't buy what you do, they buy why you do. Okay. And here's not as popular guy, but myself. I mean, I really believe that if social media is not one of your, fields that you excel in for yourself, for your business now, your plan going into this next 60 days is you got to become an expert at this. Okay. I've challenged myself. I'm becoming an expert in a lot of different areas that I used to sublet out. We have so much more time right now than ever. The time that we're saving from not gathering to meet all together, the travel time, the time that I say personally, because I'm a big baseball nut, I don't get to watch a game every night when I go home. I'm in my office and I'm becoming an expert in other areas. And this is my challenge to everybody here. There's a reason why you're watching this. Become an expert and be your own social media agency. Become an expert at what you do. Okay. At this for yourself. We talked about this already. Facebook is still relevant, still very, very powerful. It's your opportunity to provide value and information, and if applicable, entertain your audience. While I'm thinking about it, if you can be provide a little bit of humor, provide a little bit of sarcasm to your audience, if that's applicable to you and people know you that way. The use of emojis, and I didn't really learn this in the last year or so when I had a client out of Atlanta, a jeweler, a very sassy, very edgy type of client, and their audience, their market are very much the same way. They're all hipsters, right? The more emojis I put in their copy and their day-to-day stuff, the more response I got, the more laughter I got, the more those posts were shared. So that's something that you can do, even if it's a smirk or smiley face or the sun or whatever it is. I mean, look up, I think believe it's emojipedia.com. And if emojis can be put in your copy of your post, I highly recommend to try those out to see if you get more engagement from your audience. It sounds funny, it sounds a little hokey, but it catches the eye. If you scroll through your Facebook feed and kind of keep in mind, somebody puts an emoji in their copy, it captures people's attention. Um, you change, you got to engage with your audience, not the other way around. It's still the top app of monthly users in the first quarter, and so it's going up. The organic reach, your non-paid, day-to-day reach is through the roof right now. Okay, post often and consistent. I know someone's going to ask, "Oh, how often should I post?" Post every day. You have something you can say every day, especially now. Especially with the community, especially about another local business. Provide a tip of the day or a tip of the week. There's so much about your business that you can share as far as providing value and information to show that you're a leader in your industry. Challenge yourself to post something every day, even if you got to schedule this stuff out. And I'll show you how to schedule a post out. Where if you're going to sit there, maybe on a Sunday afternoon or whatever, and schedule the rest of the week, come up with something. There are free social media calendars online. Okay, just Google free social media calendars. There's a number of them that just maybe you don't have to abide by them, what they suggest every single day, but at least it'll kind of jog your creativity and your imagination of what you can post. Okay, motivational, positive quotes, from maybe some of your favorite authors or favorite motivational speakers are always kind of good. But post something every day. And learn all the options when posting. I'm going to talk about that right now as I get into my own page. There's several other options that you can use besides just posting something. Okay. And we're going to get into that right now. These are the types of posts. If you look at my page, you'll see I share a lot of third-party articles. I share a lot of third-party content. I share a lot of information about marketing, entrepreneurship, social media. Again, that's positioning myself as a leader in this industry. A lot of people who have come on board and become a client go to my Facebook page and they see what I've done. And they always, that first conversation, they say, "I like that you share this. I like you share that." I'll share something and I'll put like a little question. Do you agree or disagree with this? Or what do you think about this entrepreneur's idea of what you should be doing with your social media? I have a lot of go-to like sources. I like using Inc., Forbes, Entrepreneur, and some other sources. Share that stuff that applies to your business or industry. I know it sounds like you're kind of taking a shortcut, and it is, but I'm sharing stuff each and every day that kind of goes in with these other types of posts I'm going to show you pretty soon. Okay. If you share a photo, an image, you're going to get more reach and engagement than you would a third-party article. A photo of yourself, kind of maybe behind the scenes, a photo of what you're up to, the local business that you're visiting that day. Well, you can't really do that now, but maybe a photo of yourself, taking this webinar, learning more about Facebook. You'll get more reach and engagement off that. If you're a restaurant, photos of your food that you're, preparing for today's, special, whatever, those have done phenomenally well. Video will get more reach and engagement than photos will. We're kind of, as we go through this list, we're getting more and more reach, more and more engagement, more and more opportunity for your reach, your current and a new audience. Okay. Challenge yourself to do a Facebook Live. Create an event on Facebook. Tell the world you're going to do a Facebook Live and do that Facebook Live. Learn how to do it. I promise you there's more people on this webinar than not that are, be afraid to do that. Just don't think about it. Don't be over scripted. Just be authentic. Have a little outline of what you want to talk about and talk about that. the best Facebook Lives that I've done, whether it's for myself or a client, something's gone wrong. I did one on Instagram a few weeks ago, and just before I went on, I was eating a granola bar. And in the middle of my Instagram Live, I started choking on some of the peanut butter and the chocolate. But I got a lot of response, and everybody loved it. I didn't cut it out. I didn't edit it. I didn't do anything. It's real. It's authentic. Fortunately, I didn't pass out or anything, but I could go on and on about some of the best lives I've done for clients. Something's gone wrong, and we rebounded, and you're real. It's authentic. I'm actually going to show you a few of the posts right now, and I know I'm going kind of quick, but there's a lot of other stuff I need to get through. Besides just posting something, I'm going to go through and show you how I do all this right here. And I'm not going to annoy a few people on this first one, checking in as your business. But there's polls, gifts, feeling activity messages. Let's go through a few of these right now. So some other options, especially if you're getting stuck with, what should I post today? Okay. I hope everybody's seen this, just start a post right here. Just click on here and it'll open up some of the other options. Now on this right here, I'm going through my Facebook manager, so I only see the photo and the video. They get messages and the tag products if you have a product. But if you open up this 3 dots, you'll see I have all these other options. The first one that I'm going to kind of get on a few of you with, and it's I know a few of you that I've noticed, do a lot of networking, okay? And you always check in or do a photo from the place that you're networking from. Okay, you're there representing your business, okay, but you're putting that on your personal page. I see this, and I'm seeing this a lot right now. I'm happy people are posting more, but in my opinion, you're wasting a lot of opportunity by posting that you visited, La Suprema today, or you supported another local business by ordering their takeout. Put all that stuff on your business page to, again, position yourself as a leader in your industry and your community. Think of yourself as you got to position yourself as the mayor of Tucson, okay? Stop posting anything that's business related on your personal page, okay? Just stop. If it's personal and it belongs on your personal page, you're sharing time with your dog or you're going out on a hike or whatever, it's nothing to do with your business, then fine, keep that up. But if it has to do something with your business, you're out networking, or if you're doing a webinar, or if you're doing something business related, you're donating some of your time to a local non-charity, representing your business while doing so, post that from your business page. The reason being, because if there's somebody else that's looking for your products or services, they're not going to find you. They're not searching for you on your personal side. They don't know who Shawn Campbell is, but they knew Campbell Marketing, and they're going to look up on Campbell Marketing, and they're going to see all the times that I was visiting another business and it's business related, or I'm at a networking event, or I'm doing something else to support the local community. Now, there's a lot of you out there that do a tremendous, tremendous job at doing that, but you put it in on your personal page. That potential new client or customer is not looking up you on your personal page. They're looking up to see what your business is all about. Start posting all that stuff on your business page. That in itself would take care of the dilemma of what should I post on my business page, especially when this pandemic ends and we're all out doing our networking again, we're all out doing this. Do it from your business page, okay? You can take your photo and you could check in as your business. You're just simply going to your business page, you're uploading the photo, and you're checking in, like say I was at La Suprema today, or just here, or La Suprema, that should come up, right? So I'm going to check in as my business at La Suprema. We had a great networking, or we had a great meeting today. I'm representing Campbell Marketing Group. I'm showing my, people that are visiting my business page, what I'm up to, what I'm doing as my business, not on the personal side, okay? Under the photo and video, I need to kind of get out of this and start over. because I need to reset it. When you're doing a photo, there's a lot of us that post more than one photo, especially again, if you're out doing something, representing your business. There's a thing here called create slideshow. If you're going to post 3 up to 10 videos, photos, instead of doing it individually and just uploading them as an individual, by creating a slideshow, you'll get a lot more reach and engagement impressions. Okay. So I created a slideshow, and then you're simply going to add the photos down here. You could do the aspect ratio of the original. I always like to do a 3-second, time that each photo will be seen, and I always put a fade. It just looks better because it's not like going from one photo to the next to the next to the next. And if you want to get really out there in left field, there's a bunch of music that you can apply to this slideshow. So instead of uploading 3 separate photos, and it looks fine, and people are going to go and check them out, you'll get more reach and more engagement and more impressions, because Facebook sees this technically as kind of a video instead of just separate pictures. Plus, they're just more fun to watch by creating this slideshow. Okay, so that's another thing I like to do. Again, I need to get out of this and reload real quick. And these are just some of the basics instead of just doing kind of the day-to-day post, right? Okay. If you do a post and you get messages, Facebook will, honestly, it'll kind of put that up a little more higher in the newsfeed. And you're asking people, after you put your copy in here, you get messages. So it has that call to action button on your post to send you a message. So on posts like this, I like to just kind of, put a little bit about my business, or if you have any questions about social media or whatever, please send me a message. Something like that. You're more apt to get a lot more messages and people asking you about your business than just doing a regular type of post. So try using that, okay? So that's another different type of post. Can I go through it? So you see, there's a regular type of post that we all do all day, but there's all these little nuances that are available, okay? That's another one that I do all the time. The feeling and activity, a lot of people do that, kind of put that in there. Again, it'll catch the eye of people as they're scrolling through. Polls. Whenever I do a poll, I get a lot more engagement, a lot more people that respond to it. The only drawback on the poll is that there's only 2 options when you're doing a poll from your business page. However, say I'm going to ask a question up here. So my question, I put yes or no if you agree, whatever that is. If you add a GIF, and you say yes, and then on this one, I'm going to add one, and search through there. Obviously. So I'm asking a question, and you see, okay, I'm asking a question. I'm asking for a poll from my audience. You don't think that's going to get a lot of reach and engagement? Of course that is. That's another easy little tool that Facebook has for you. So you're not kind of doing the mundane thing over and over again. So maybe something like this could be incorporated in your weekly or monthly schedule. Okay. This is a really good one. You get a lot of engagement. And you could put down, however long you want it to last or whatnot. Okay. So there are just a few ideas for you right there. Instead of, again, I'm not saying don't do the regular type of post that you're already doing, but there's a lot of different options if you kind of get in there and play around with these. When you start doing this, test these out. Test it out a few times. Maybe it may not work the first time, but maybe there's a little, nuance or something else you could have done. Become really good testers, and don't try to become an overnight genius marketer. Test all these things out, see which one your audience responds to and which ones they don't. And then go, and again, those are some of the favorites that I do that for me get the most reach and engagement for my clients. But by all means, try all these other ones out and see how they work for you. Okay. For the go live, You just click on the live and just go through the process. Okay. If you do have some type of a video camera or a microphone, it comes out a lot better than just maybe the camera from a laptop or a desktop. So like right now, I'm using a camera. It's actually a Canon Rebel. So if you have a video camera or something that you could use instead of just a laptop, it'll really kind of look a lot better than just something off your laptop. Um, Let me get back to where I'm at. Okay. So I'm getting short on time, but I really want to get through this. Since COVID-19, um, before all this, the best times to post were typically on Monday mornings. That's the time that got the most reach and engagement from my clients. But I looked it up yesterday, and this kind of goes to all the getting back to how many of us are on social media all the time now. The best times now, instead of just Monday mornings, are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 11. That's when we're seeing the most reach and the most engagement around those times. So save your best stuff for that. Okay. Tagging others. A lot of people, mention that, how was that minute or whatever today, having a business meeting. Let's just say that, right? To tag a business, you want to put the at and then see what their username is. A lot of times the business doesn't put a good username, so it's hard to find them. But if you see right here, this is my username for myself. So if I wanted to tag myself, and I'll come up and I can tag myself in a comment. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just kind of giving you an example. If you get a chance to tag another business, especially if it's another local business that's doing something good for the community, like was it Cactus in Drive-In is showing a movie tomorrow, and I wanted to give them a shout out. Thank you for Cactus Drive-In or whatever. Whenever you tag another business or another big event that's going on, you will get a lot more reach and engagement as opposed to whether you didn't tag that business on your post. So get in the habit. If you're visiting another business, not only check in there, but tag it in your post. If you want to give a shout out to another local business for, what they're doing to help out the community, make sure you tag them. It gives them the opportunity to share that post on theirs and kind of, cross-pollinate the audiences there. So tagging is big. Learn how to do that. A lot of people throw the boost money into something that they want to kind of force down their audience's throat. Post something first and see how it does in that first day or so. And if you get a lot of reach and engagement, you want to boost that one. You don't want to boost something that's, a bad post or is not, received by your audience very well. You're just throwing money away. This one right here, and I believe Beth, if she's on this, we kind of went through this together. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm giving a webinar on Facebook, but who shut down my account this week? Facebook. The reason why is because I was helping a lot of my clients post COVID related products and services. So right now, you got to be very, 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 very careful. And none of my ads did this for my clients. However, they're being very stringent that you are not, and I didn't know this until this weekend, very, very stringent that you cannot create any type of hysteria or a false sense of, you got to buy this or you're going to get sick from COVID. You can't be misrepresentative of that service or product and create, just a bad sales form or technique with it. If you have something COVID related, a product or service that you want to present and sell to your audience, you got to be more kind of branding your business first, and then kind of nonchalantly put it in your copy, put in your post. Okay. The Facebook is very, very, very tight on this. Very, very tight. They shut down my account over the weekend because I had so much COVID related services and products that my clients were selling in my ads that they shut it down to review what I was doing. So that scared the out of me for a while. But after they gave me a lot of resources to look over, and you can't create a hysteria. You can't create a false sense of, insecurity. Not that anybody on this webinar would do that anyway, but in my opinion, I mean, be very, very careful how you present it. Be careful in your imagery. There was one image that had, a picture of someone wearing a mask because they're selling masks. Facebook didn't want that. Um, you got to be very, very tactful in how you present anything that's related to the pandemic, if it's a service or product that you're selling to your audience. If you have any questions on that, I'll give you my email address later for that. Events, there's a lot of times where we're missing opportunity to create an event for something that you're holding. You're doing a big open house or whatever it is for your business, create an event and put some money behind that, boost that event. Canva. Canva is what you see this presentation on right now. Uh, go to canva.com. Canva is the only program that I would ever recommend to actually invest into, because it can help you with all your visuals and all your images and all your pictures. There's a ton of templates on there. You can even do video off of Canva and put text over the video. And I believe it's either $9 or $19 a month for that. Fill out the story part of your Facebook. A lot of us don't have the story part of our Facebook's filled out, our Facebook page. And I'm going to show you that right now where that's at. And I promise I'll be down in one more minute, Alex. The story part is right here. Make sure you fill that out. Answer everybody that has a good or bad comment. Answer all of your reviews and Facebook recommendations, especially the bad ones. Before I started my own business, I was with Kia Motors America for a couple of years, and part of my job was to respond to like all the negative comments on Facebook. Don't say you're sorry for the problem. Say you're sorry to hear about this problem. Please private message me so we can discuss this. That way your audience sees that you replied even to the bad comments. We're all going to get bad comments. We're all going to get bad reviews. It's just part of being in business. But don't be afraid to reply to them. Again, say, I'm sorry to hear about this issue. Please private message me. So you're turning kind of lemons into lemonade, okay? These are username set. A lot of Facebook pages don't have their username set, and that's right here. You could put that on all your marketing material. You could put that on all your, stuff to show people where to find you on Facebook. Again, if you don't have a username already set, it's going to stay right here. Just click on it, and you can change your username. It'll just say add username. Just click on it and create a username for yourself. And pinning a post. Especially if you do a live video, pin that post to the top of your page. And I bet you I don't have time there, so a good example of what not to do. But basically, when you pin a post, you're going to click on those dots and say pin that post, and I, pin that one right there. I'm going to get through this real quick. Social media mindset agency first. Please don't care what other people are going to think. Don't overthink it. Just get to work for yourself. Find an accountability partner. Find someone so the two of you could work together and kind of hold yourself accountable. And be authentic. Just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Number one job is to tell your story to the consumer wherever they are, and preferably at the moment when they're deciding to make a purchase. Gary Vee. So if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, I had to put something in my show. So Q&A. I'm out of breath. But Alex, do we have any questions out there?
Yeah, that was so great, Shawn. First of all, thank you so much. Super informative and helpful. We do have some questions here. So one of the first questions was what you mentioned, responding to folks right away. Mm-hmm. What's an acceptable response rate on average?
Give yourself within 2 hours to respond. Like during the day, I'm not saying wake up every 2, 4, and 6 hours, like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, but give yourself about 2 hours. That was the kind of our guidelines when I was at Kia Motors America, and that's something I held over when I started my business. Mm-hmm. Give yourself about 2 hours. That shows responsiveness on your part. your audience knows that you're not going to be there 100% of the time running your business. The key thing is, though, is that your audience is going to see that you responded to everything. They know they could reach out to you, whether it's on comments or a private message or whatever. But yeah, it's a really, really good question. You give yourself like a 2 hour, goal to respond to any of the comments. The sooner the quicker, though. I mean, the sooner the better.
Great. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, another question. Can you give us a sample of an effective poll you've designed?
No. I'd have to go into one of my clients' pages, but I was working with a few like barbecue restaurants in town, and I always did a poll, and it had nothing to do with barbecue. It always had to do with how much they love tacos, and I always did something on like once a month on a Taco Tuesday. But I actually did kind of give the example of when um, I did the gifts for each one, whether it's a yes or no. You want to put something out there that doesn't take any thought. Okay, like when I'm thinking offhand, that one of the best polls I did, I know it was on a Taco Tuesday, and it was something to the effect, it's like, hey everybody, on Taco Tuesday, how many tacos are you eating today? And it was like 10 and above or zero. So something kind of mundane. It was kind of funny. It or going on the other extreme, what if you're a coffee shop and you're kind of debating whether you want to do a new vanilla macchiato or a chocolate macchiato, whatever that is. That's a good way for you to kind of test your audience to see which one of the new products they'd be more apt to kind of go for. So kind of think of it as the two extremes. One, to kind of create just kind of a no-brainer, get a bunch of people to engage in and answer yes or no, one or the other. Or make it something where if you're offering another product or service, ask your audience which one they'd be more inclined to kind of respond best to.
That's great. Yeah, I have a feeling that that's going to be really effective these days. Getting
It's
feedback from folks that are that are at home and
great point, Alex. Yeah.
have that
Great.
input. Wonderful. All right, another question. Um, Erica has two Facebook accounts because she said I was shut down temporarily for my main username, so I had to create another.
Mhm.
Now that one is much more followed. However, the first one is a better username. I want to merge the accounts. How do you do that, and what do you recommend? At what level, money, time do you hire someone else to create and post content for you so you can run your business? So lots
I,
of questions there.
I promise I couldn't answer that last question. But the first one's a little complicated because you have two separate pages. If I understand it correctly, that you want to use a first username for the second page,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So um, you'd have to kind of shut down that first page so that username is available again. And then when you go to create that or update the second page's username to the first page's one, that's now that it's available because you deleted that page. It has to be, you can't do it too much. It has to be somewhat related. Facebook doesn't want you to have like a Facebook page and then basically sell that page to somebody else. So that's why it's very kind of strict and how many times you could change a username, and it has to be very related to that, the one that you're changing it to.
Yeah, it's related. I guess my question mostly is how do I get all the people who have followed me and liked me and are engaged on that one site over to the other ones? Can I just move them over, or do they have to individually like the new page again? Because
They do. They have to individualize that page. I mean, it may be a little time consuming, but even if you message them, if you know them, or just um, ask everybody on that first page to follow this other page because you're going to shut that first page down. And
okay.
just try to get as much people over that you can. That'll be actually save you a lot more headache than it would to kind of create that different username for that second page.
Okay.
Just give yourself 10, 15 minutes every day to work on that over time until you feel like
Okay.
you've done the best you could.
Yeah.
Again, don't get too enamored of how many people like your page.
Mm-hmm.
What's more important is reach and engagement. And I know we didn't go over it today, but your ads, even if you're a local business and you run ads for $50 to $100 a month, the amount of people you can reach are in the tens of thousands, and the amount of impressions you can make are in the tens of thousands, which is a lot more important than how many people like your page.
Thank you. Yeah. And the other question, unless somebody else has another one, was just at what point do you recommend hiring somebody to do all this for you? Because you can't do it all eventually.
And I'm saying this with sincerity. Give yourself like 3 months to commit to this, you know, and I know you have your business to run, and I know you got a lot of other things. You wear a ton of different hats, but I promise you, and I know I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot, is that once you kind of get the hang of it and get used to what your audience likes and don't like, and just set aside a time where you can commit maybe a half an hour to an hour, you know, and schedule out the rest of your week for on Facebook, it becomes a lot quicker. And that hour turns into a half an hour, then a half an hour turns into like maybe 20 minutes. Do you know how to schedule a post out?
I could figure it out, I'm sure. I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah, you go right here. You click on this, and I got to reset it again. But basically, instead of posting right now, it gives you an option to schedule it out. So maybe you could schedule like 2 or 3 days ahead. It's right here. Instead of the share now, you can schedule it, and you can schedule whenever you want. So
Thank you.
yep.
Great. We have a couple more questions. So is there a way to reorder services without redoing them?
Reorder services. I need a little more clarification.
Yeah, I am sorry, I don't have more information there.
Who asked that question?
That was from Beth.
Beth Morrison.
Yes.
Hey, Shawn?
Yes.
What I meant is under services, you can list
Oh.
like all the different services that you offer.
Mhm.
When I put mine in, I thought it would be a more logical order, and it ended up putting my least on top and my most frequent on the bottom. So I'm just wondering, is there a way to flip that or redo them without having to just do it all over?
I honestly don't know, but I have your email, right?
Yeah.
I'll promise you I'll look into that and have an answer for you.
Yeah, it'd be like if you look at yours, maybe you wanted social marketing media to be the one listed first.
Oh, you know what? Look at this. Look at
Mine are all in reverse order.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was simple. I didn't try anything.
I knew that answer.
Perfect.
There you go. That's awesome.
Thanks, Shawn.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Shawn, they're still coming in.
1,000.
We got a couple more. How can you add a donation button for a nonprofit?
You have to have your page set up as a nonprofit first. And I believe it's right here. Like if I wanted to edit this button, and if your page was set up as a nonprofit, you can edit it right there. And you should be able to, like one of your options right here would be to set up a donation for that. That's how you do it.
Great. Awesome.
And right here, it would say like donate now.
Perfect. Super helpful. All right, a couple more we can squeeze in the next few minutes. Any thoughts on hosting watch parties?
Honestly, no thoughts. I haven't done it yet, to be honest. Just from like my perspective, kind of looking in as a member of the audience or whatever. I've seen everybody doing it now, so I'm kind of ignoring every time I see a watch party notification. Now, I don't want to totally dismiss it, but that's just kind of what I've seen. I've noticed they were popular about a month ago, and they kind of dwindled down a little bit. It's just that everybody's doing them right now. I know that goes against a little bit of what I'm saying to recommend everybody do a live video, but on your live, have that kind of scheduled out a part of your routine. And I promise you, if you do that on a consistent basis, you'll build up an audience. One, you'll build out an audience over time if you're providing good value and information. And two, maybe only 4 or 5 people watch it then, but you'll see over the day, the next 2 days, that 4 or 5 views turn into 40 and 50 and 60 views, especially if it's a good one. Okay.
Great. And when moving from the planning to executing stage of a new business, when do you think is the right time to start social media marketing?
Immediately. I have a friend of mine. I hope she's not watching. She's awesome, great person, and she's been sitting on this page. She hasn't published her page, and it's just sitting there, and she's overthinking it. She has a bunch of content. She's kind of scared to put it out. You really should have that page as soon as you're open, even if before you're open. This is your opportunity to engage, with that audience and find out what they want, find out, it's a good chance for you to kind of fine tune what your products and services that you may think are going to work ahead of time, before you're actually open.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and we can open it up to see if anyone else has any other questions. Does anyone else have any that they maybe didn't put in the chat and wanted to take a second to ask?
Do you want me to share my email in case you have questions later?
That would be great if you could just share it in the chat.
Okay.
And then we'll send out a recording of this to everyone here, and we'll include Shawn's information in the slide deck if he's good with that, so that we can get this information to you all. But this has been such a lovely presentation. I mean, speaking personally, I learned so much, and I manage a social media at La Suprema, and I feel like I got so many valuable tips from that. And I am sure that everyone here did as well. So it was super informative. And I just wanted to give a big thank you to Shawn for hosting this first one. So kudos to you. We really appreciate you. I'm so grateful to have you in our community. And just so that everyone here knows, we're also doing this next week. So it'll be in our newsletter, but just to give you a heads up, Kurt Bullock will be hosting next week, and he is presenting on selling online using Shopify. His office is right across from Shawn, so they see each other on a daily basis. But it was super great having you all. We'll be timely here and we're signing off right at 1:00, which is awesome. But I really just wanted to extend my gratitude and hope everyone is staying healthy and doing well, and excited to go work on their Facebook page now. Great to see some familiar faces. Yeah, thank you everyone. Shawn, getting so much good feedback over here in the chat side. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I think I'm gonna log off here, but you're able to take a look through these. Well, I'll stay on so you can look through the rest of the notes here.
Okay, cool.